The first project is the part of Chengdu World Horticultural Expo, and it's an attempt to give a contemporary expression to traditional local culture. And the Chengdu World Horticultural Expo is a grand event that uses horticulture to share the concepts of green development and poetic and harmonious lifestyle with people around the world. Since Chengdu is the host city, is the capital city of Sichuan province, and we took Western Sichuan Gardens as the starting point for our design. And these gardens reflect the local people's deep understanding of nature, culture, and living spaces, and they convey the artistic and cultural essence of Chengdu, and offering a Sichuan interpretation of the idea of park city, poetic living. And the main building in the garden follows the principle of placing the garden first with the architecture as an embellishment. And our goal was to create a transparent, light, and artistic landscape structure that would serve as the highlight of the garden. So bamboo groves and the lotus ponds are the most common and representative elements in Western Sichuan gardens, so often found in many of Chengdu's classic gardens. And this is a process of entering forms and preserving ideas of this project. And we drew inspiration from lotus leaves and bamboo coasters. An exhibition hall takes its shape from the image of lotus leaf standing tall. The building itself looks like a giant lotus leaf floating in the pond, while a cluster of bamboo below stretch outward with bamboo piles acting as leaf veins and supporting the light curved roof. At the same time, we preserved key features of traditional Western Sichuan architecture and incorporating elements like slope roof, gray tiles, and extended eaves and thin roof edges. And these details were expressed in a dramatic and abstract artistic form. And our original plan for the bamboo lotus structure was to use two eco-friendly materials, the glued bamboo and raw bamboo as the primary building materials. And this was in line with the exposed theme of Park City Beautiful Living. But however, due to time constraints and budget concerns, we had to switch to a steel structure and with raw bamboo used as decoration. It's worth mention that deposit not being able to use bamboo for this project. Since 2018, our team has been actively involved in projects centered around bamboo, and we've extensively explored both bamboo as materials and its cultural significance. So at the same time, as we are designing the bamboo lotus for the expo, we are also working on the Chengdu Bamboo County Art Rural Art Museum. And this museum features a full bamboo structure system, with glued bamboo as the primary structure and raw bamboo as a supplementary structure and the decoration. For that project, we researched bamboo structural and fire resistance properties and overcame many challenges in terms of building codes. This project will be an important attempt to promote the large-scale application of raw bamboo materials in construction projects and its development in the academic field. And here are some details of how bamboo structure were combined in this project, which also highlights Chengdu's intangible cultural heritage, the bamboo weaving. And coming back to bamboo lotus project, this image shows how the two layers of bamboo poles were transformed into the veins of the lotus leaves. And the raw bamboo installation serves as a focal point of the interior and allowing visitors to experience the unique charm of Sichuan's bamboo culture from both inside and outside the building. And for interior decoration and furnishings, we choose eco-friendly recycled materials like straw bricks and handcraft rattan furniture from Huaiyuan, Chengdu, which is recognized as a national intangible cultural heritage. And these elements incorporate traditional Western Sichuan living scenes into the space. And at the top of the glass wall, we left a gap between the bamboo poles and the lower steel structure. And this gap creates a natural ventilation system through the chimney effect, which helps reduce energy consumption. And the use of sustainable materials and passive energy saving strategies mentioned here are all response to the exposed theme of Park City Beautiful Living. And beyond the building itself, our elements in the garden, such as the entrance gate and the curved wall pathway, also offer contemporary expressions in traditional Chinese cultural elements. And Western Sichuan gardens are not only places for leisure, they often carry deep spiritual significance. And we hope that after experiencing this small building, visitors will understand the symbolic language and inner spirit it conveys. It meant to evoke a shared cultural sustainability rooted in Chinese tradition and telling a fresh, vibrant new story of Sichuan's forest landscape and the 2024 Chengdu World Horticulture Expo.
I have a couple of questions here. The
Okay.
first one is bamboo structure are really traditional, very natural. How we can go to a path that we can bring this type of material and this type of like methodology of construction to the new world? So you have this connection between people, material, and having this artistic view for your project. How you can say like we can go through this path of making it like work in the new generation?
So, well, especially in China, I think Chinese people really like this plant. You can see it anywhere, especially in south of China, and uh, uh, and the bamboo usually appear in some ancient Chinese poetry. So some studio or companies that usually take inspirations from traditional cultures like us are really interested in using this kind of materials. So, and the bamboo has a shorter growth period than the wood. And on the other hand, I mentioned before, we have overcame some limitations of the building codes. So we think this material will have a expand application in the future. Not only the raw bamboo, but also the engineering bamboo, the glue bamboo.
And what about the like interaction with people? How do you see that?
We think it's more eco-friendly and people will, and it cost lower, have lower cost.
So they
Yes.
are like accepting it and like to use this type of
Yeah, and
material there.
more, yeah.
And I have one more technical question. Because of the like slope of the roof, you have a rain pond in the middle, like you collect the rainwater in this
Oh, yes,
project.
yes.
I saw it on your diagram. Can you explain a bit about?
Green collection is one of the like function and to show our strategy on the to how we respond the theme of this horticultural expo, like eco-friendly, and it's one of the strategy.
And comes
Yeah.
back to the pond, or you use it like to water the plants. What's the usage of collecting rainwater here?
Just floating to the pond.
Oh, okay. This
Yeah.
goes back to the system. Okay.
So is this something common in even way before in Chinese tradition of collecting rainwater?
No, no.
So it's special. It's only unique in this
Yeah,
project.
yeah.
Right. And you mentioned something about earlier that um, architecture is the embellishment, and the garden is the main feature. Is that something that is has been in tradition in Chinese architecture? And maybe you can explain a bit more about that.
It's not in the tradition. Yes, it's always being shown in many traditional Chinese architecture. And as you can see in these pictures, the uh, the buildings are always the embellishment.
Yeah. And what's the reason for that? Is there like a particular like a philosophical reason maybe, or maybe it's rooted in
I
yours?
think it's
Yeah.
a ancient poetic thinking,
Uh-huh. Right.
and it's just transferred to our generation.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's good because it's usually don't hear that in Western architecture much. I believe
Mm.
it's also something quite common in China and in the Eastern Asian countries. What's the reason with the you showed a image earlier with the gateway like a portal, and I think this is quite common in Chinese architecture and buildings where you use the circle as an
Yeah,
entranceway. Yeah.
we use
So
the circle.
could you tell us about the significance of this circle? Because I've seen it quite a lot in Chinese architecture.
It's also from an Asian saying, I would say. Uh, we call it the sky is circle, and we use circle to represent the sky
Right.
in Chinese Asian theory. Yes.
Mhm. Yeah, that's interesting because for since we've interviewed several Chinese firms in previous episodes, there's always something poetic that has inspired your architecture in the Chinese poetry and arts that somehow has really inspired the way you look at
Mhm.
your design.
Yeah. So yes, as we mentioned, our design theory are always from the uh, always inspired by this Chinese Asian theory, the philosophy.
Right. And
Yeah,
you think this tradition, I mean, this way of approaching design is still strong in Chinese
yeah,
architecture, or
I
do you
think
think
it's
it's
strong, and we want to express it in a contemporary
right?
way. Yeah.
Because I've heard that because of the quick expansion and development, there's a worry that the tradition would somehow go away, would subside. But it's good that um, you're still using it in your designs.